Welcome to this week's Raw Recap. As always in these recap videos, we go over everything you need to know about this important episode of WWE. I give my thoughts on the show at any point in the video. You guys can leave me your thoughts on the show down in the comments below. But as always, before you get anywhere in any video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and go follow the socials. The links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account and my X account. Do all that, helps me in a ton, but now let's get you guys straight on into this week's Raw Recap. Alright, so we kicked off the show where we got to acknowledge our tribal chief. He doesn't really get to say much until we see Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed come out. And what Paul Heyman first says is, how does it feel that, you know, for the one time in your career, even before the whole, I was even with you, or even after I was with you, the first time in your career where you had to get stretchered out at the hands of anybody, and that man was Bronson Reed. And then he passes the mic over on to Bronson Reed himself, and Bronson Reed says, asked Roman, he says, Roman, how would your father Sika, how would your uncle, how would your whole family, how would your elders feel if they, knowing that that you got stretchered out that night? Obviously referencing Clash in Paris when Bronson Reed did stretcher out Roman Reigns. And then what Roman has to say, he says, it's funny that you mention my dad and my uncle, because you know the guy next to you, referencing Paul Heyman, he knows my dad and them very well. And then he asked Paul Heyman the question of, well, what would my dad say right now, Paul? And then he says, he would say, let's not wait to fight. Let's do the fighting now, basically. And then what Paul Heyman says is that, you know, pretty much kind of like that, you know, we're not going to do it tonight, but we will do it this Saturday at Crown Jewel in an Australian street fight. So obviously, don't let the Australian part fool you. It's just going to be your standard street fight, kind of like Extreme Rules type of action there. So we are going to get that match. So that is the 5th match on the card. You already kind of knew that was coming. But then we did see just a bit of a brawl because Roman Reigns, after Paul Heyman had preached that, they had proceeded to walk away, but then Roman Reigns said he says that you guys came out so hot, but now you guys are acting like bitches. That's what sets off Bronson Reed. He goes down to the ring, and then we jump into a big brawl, and inevitably Roman Reigns pretty much does stand tall off that brawl. So overall, I cannot wait for this match. I think this match, I don't think this match will be an absolute banger. We had a banger between these two at Clash in Paris, and it'll be no different, I guarantee, especially now that it's a street fight at Crown Jewel. Considering this overall promo, I don't think it was the greatest thing, but honestly, I don't think it was. I also don't think it was that bad. So I think it was a solid opener. We got our 5th match on Crown Jewel, so I'll take it. And honestly, man, like I said, I cannot freaking wait for that match. Alright, man, now we jumped into a surprisingly great match between Becky Lynch and Maxxine Dupri. Yes, Maxxine Dupri was involved in a banger match. I know, hard to believe, but holy, a banger of a match from her tonight. As you can expect, Becky Lynch is, of course, going to look good in this match, but who you really are supposed to look at in this match was Maxxine Dupri. And if you really paid attention, man, you'll really know how good of a freaking match this was. This was a great back and forth. Like, that ending was great. Now, I will say this match did end in a countout where Maxxine Dupri won. Where Maxxine Dupri won, Becky Lynch got counted out. But I think that's a good thing in the sense that since that happened, I feel like these matches between Maxxine and Becky are going to continue, and that is a good thing because for what we saw tonight was absolutely amazing. So if we continue to see this, I think that's only going to continue boosting Maxxine Dupri and just boosting potentially the Women's Intercontinental just picture in general. Because I feel like now they're probably going to insert her into the Women's Intercontinental title picture after she technically just beat Becky Lynch tonight. I can't wait for that if that's really what they end up doing. But as far as this overall match, dude, it was so freaking good. There was a great technical work, and it was just a great back and forth all around. And just overall, I was not expecting Maxxine Dupri to be showcased as she was tonight. And she was showcased very well. She did freaking amazing. And like I said, Becky Lynch, of course, is going to do great. She's Becky freaking Lynch. But the main person you want to look at is Maxxine Dupri. And if you really did, man, that really paid off because this was such a great performance from both women, but Maxxine Dupri in specifically. So yeah, overall, what a great freaking match in my opinion. And like I said, Maxxine Dupri did end up winning here. Alright, now we jumped into Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez, and honestly, I do think this was a solid match. Would I say it's better? It was better than, let's say Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree, I would say no. I feel like, dude, Maxine Dupree and Becky, I think that potentially a show stealer, but we'll have to wait and see at the end until the end of the video. But as far as this match, it was definitely solid. I do not think it was bad. I think every woman looked great in this match. Inevitably, though, we did see Roxanne Perez win this one, which is cool. I think that it's very cool to see Roxanne win. But overall, I think these women had great chemistry in this match tonight, and I think there was just it wasn't like the craziest match, but it was definitely solid. It wasn't that great, but it also wasn't bad. It was just a solid match. So I'll take it, man. Roxanne Perez, though, does inevitably pick up the win here, but overall, this match was definitely solid. Alright, now we jumped into a banger of a freaking segment here. So we jumped in, CM Punk comes out, and he kind of just says that he's just kind of tells us what his priorities are, and obviously it's just kind of getting that world title back. We've kind of seen that, but it doesn't end there. That we kind of we get relevant now. This is where we start to get relevant anywhere in this segment. We see LA Knight come out, and what LA Knight tells CM Punk is that pretty much he needs to get behind him because he says that he was the last one to pin Seth Rollins, and he will be the next one to pin Seth Rollins, and he will be the next World Heavyweight Champion. And then we see Jey Uso come out, and then what Jey Uso pretty much has to say is kind of just similar to what we've seen, is just, you know, saying that he deserves that World Heavyweight title, and, you know, but then LA Knight tells him that your time has came and it's gone, brother. It is my time. And then what we see from there is we see that LA Knight pretty much, he tries to get under Jey Uso's skin, and not tries, I think he definitely did get under Jey Uso's skin. He says, you need to get your priorities straight, because whatever this is, this Roman that you're trying to be, it's got to end, and you should probably just stick to being a tag team with your brother. And then we see Jimmy Uso come out, and then inevitably we do see LA Knight get dropped by Jey Uso, and then we see CM Punk. He kind of goes off what LA Knight said about Jey Uso trying to be Roman. He says, you know, he definitely needed to be, LA Knight definitely needed to be shut the hell up, but I do agree with the guy. You should probably stop being a little Roman, and you should probably get in line, get back with your brother, and work and do it, and be in a tag team instead of worrying about the World Heavyweight Championship. So pretty much, I think both CM Punk and LA Knight both got under Jey Uso's skin, and those both lines, oh man, that is what made this segment so great. Then we see Jey Uso. He tries to attack CM Punk. That doesn't end up working, and inevitably Jimmy Uso just, you know, holds him back. But then CM Punk moves Jimmy Uso out the way and freaking clocks. I'm talking clocks Jey Uso. I mean, I thought he legitimately hit him for real, man. Like when you hear that slap, oh my god, it was freaking insane in my opinion. But yeah, he drops Jey Uso, and then CM Punk turns around and gets a snarly super kick from Jimmy Uso, man. So obviously, as far as where things are going from here, I think it is clear to see. It is going to be CM Punk. It is going to be LA Knight. It is going to be them two versus the Usos at some point, maybe next week, but I know it's definitely going to happen. But man, this was a banger freaking segment. I love the fact that we are calling Jey Uso this little Roman, calling him a Roman, just any form of Roman, man, because that is going to evolve into something even bigger. I just know it is, and I can't wait. That is that and specifically is what is making this storyline so great right now. And man, just freaking awesome work here in this promo tonight. And man, I just cannot wait to see even more from this. Alright, now we jumped into Io Sky versus Kairi Sane, and if we're just considering star power, I do think this match was solid. I don't think it was actually anything really too special, but it was definitely a solid match. It wasn't anything like super boring. Obviously, I know we can get better out of these two. It's just tonight we didn't really get that, which is fine. I mean, obviously, it's probably preferable to just save that for Crown Jewel, of course. But if we're considering storyline implementation, I've said this last week, and I'm going to probably keep saying it until things get better. I just don't care about the storyline that we have building here with the whole thing between Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And I know that's why we obviously had this match, is to build more for the storyline and before Crown Jewel. But like I keep saying, I just don't care for the storyline. But like I said, if we're just considering star power from this match, it was definitely solid. Inevitably though, we did see Kairi Sane win with the help of Asuka. She held down Kairi Sane, so that way she had enough leverage on Io Sky, and then she did pick up the win. But I just really don't care for the storyline. Therefore, yes, the match was solid, but if there's really nothing like storyline related that I'm personally interested, obviously probably not gonna care. So that's just me personally. But yeah, all you gotta know here is Kairi Sane does win with the help of Asuka. And we did see a little bit of a post-match beatdown on Io Sky, but nothing too vicious. No Rhea Ripley, which was surprising. I would have figured we would have seen her, but I guess not. And that's really all you gotta know here, man. Alright, man, now we jumped into a freaking banger of a match between AJ Styles and Dragon Lee and Penta versus the Judgment Day of Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic freaking Mysterio, dude. But this match was absolutely freaking awesome. From star power, just the guys that we had in this match, you already know you're getting a banger match. But from moves to freaking technical work to high flying, just everything in this match was so freaking solid. A nice back and forth as well we saw throughout this match. Just overall, it's such a great match. Been loving what these guys have been doing these past few weeks now, man. It's just been awesome. It's just been banger after banger, and tonight was no freaking different. Inevitably though, we did see Rusev actually come out during this match, and obviously he's there for Dominic Mysterio because he's coming for that Intercontinental title. And he comes out and he tries to take out Dominic Mysterio, try to get his hands on him. But then we see Penta. He's trying to super kick Dominic Mysterio, but then he accidentally super kicks Rusev. So I'm assuming with that, we're probably going to get Penta versus Rusev next week, which is fine. But then after that, we do see Dominic Mysterio. He takes both of his titles and he gets out of there. So he pretty much just leaves this match, leaves his team stranded. And meanwhile, while he's running off, we do see AJ Styles in the ring hit that Styles Clash on JD McDonough. 1, 2, 3, and then the match is over. AJ Styles, Penta, and Dragon Lee do win this match, man. But overall, banger of a match. And at the end of the match, we just saw a little bit of a short little promo from AJ Styles, just talking about Crown Jewel, just saying this match that me and Cena have at Crown Jewel, it does not need a storyline. The story writes itself, and that is absolutely fucking true, man. I can't wait for that match. I'm freaking hyped, dude. I freaking just can't freaking wait. Cena versus Styles is going to be absolutely amazing. But that's besides the point. We're here. We're on Monday Night Raw, and we're back to this match, man. It was just overall freaking amazing. It was such a solid match, and definitely, I think this might have stolen the show. This might be the show stealer so far, but we still have a main event, so let's get y'all right to that. Alright, man, we have now made it to our main event, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, I mentioned that we were possibly going to get CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Usos, and here we are, man. We got it tonight on Monday Night Raw, and here we go. Let's dive right on into it, man. This match, absolutely freaking awesome, and I feel like the main reason I say that is because of really Jey Uso's role in this match. I think we saw a more aggressive side of Jey Uso, which is exactly what we needed to see here. I mean, Jey Uso, like how CM Punk and LA Knight are kind of calling him, kind of like that mini Roman. So if we're really trying to make him like kind of look like that, you definitely need to have him be aggressive. And I feel like in this match, that is exactly what he was, and it's exactly what he needed to be, man. But overall, it was just a very great match, man. You have star power from the Usos, you have star power from CM Punk, you have star power from LA Knight. Combine all those guys, one big match. It's going to be fucking awesome. That's exactly what we got. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Yeah, maybe it's reused. I don't care, dude. It was fucking awesome. I don't care. I know a lot of people are just gonna say, oh, it's reused. Oh, get it off the screen. Oh, nobody cares. Bullshit. You can cry all you want. This was fucking awesome. I don't care if it's reused. It was a banger of a match, and I love every bit about it, man. The storyline only continues to develop just like it should, and I can't freaking wait. This feud, this whole storyline that we are building here, it's gonna be freaking awesome when we get to that final big payoff, man. But man, I'm freaking loving it. I'm loving Monday Night Raw right now. It has been so awesome. And just overall, man, just so freaking great within this match. But inevitably, let's get right on back on track here. Inevitably, we did see LA Knight and CM Punk win. In fact, LA Knight kind of stole the win. Technically from CM Punk, yes, no matter what, if Punk got the pin, him and LA Knight would have won, but he stole a pin from CM Punk and then he ran out of there. But yeah, man, just overall, such a freaking great main event tonight. Alright, everybody, well, that's going to wrap up this week's Raw recap. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy, and as far as this episode of Raw, I think this was a very great episode of Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. But as always, be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comments below, and before we get out of here, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more wrestling content, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and go follow the socials. Links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that, helps me out a ton. I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.
I dream broken dreams. I'm